I I may have done, yeah. Everything just stopped, so I don't know what's going on. But I just started the stream anyway, so no, I didn't. Absolutely not. Something I'll never do. I don't know what happened. Might have been an internet glitch or something. Okay, excuse me just a sec. I've got a parcel coming. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Just died for a second. Okay, so let's have a look. So we've got 1,200 contracts there. That's a huge amount. At 10. Trouble is, sometimes when we have these massive orders, sometimes they struggle to trigger. We're struggling here a bit. Right, we're clearly just ranging at the moment. A little bit of ranging, a little bit of sideways. Like a little couple of legs down. Just drop out the bottom here a little bit. Small channel with a breakthrough pushes to a new high. Multiple. Trouble is, when you get this, you never know whether we're going to have a decent pullback or a correction or something, because it's been going up quite strong. We're getting close to yesterday's highs are up here. So you would naturally expect it to target yesterday's highs. We broke yesterday's lows very early on overnight. But as it gets closer, you don't know whether we're going to have some kind of correction. There's 1,276 contracts there to sell. So maybe we're coming up to this area and traders are thinking this is going to continue down. Who knows? It's definitely a bullish day for starters. Anyway, we've recovered a lot of that. So from the lows to the highs, 94 points. But from yesterday's lows, 86 points. So we have recovered a lot of this drop, which you'd probably expect. A kind of bottom in there, but then we had a quick drop, cleared any previous liquidity, and then took off. Liquidity here, dropped back, cleared it all. Any liquidity here, dropped back, cleared it all. So maybe a second entry there. It's only a small bar. It's 5 ticks, but I'm staying out of this because there's probably going to be a bit of liquidity there. So I'm just leaving it. I'm pretty sure it'll get stopped out anyway, but it is a little second entry long. But I don't like, whenever we get these little range, I always like to clear previous liquidity before I consider going long. So if you did take that, it did stop you out. So a little bit of sideways. As I said, there is a large amount there, but sometimes when you get these large amounts, they struggle to get through it. I wouldn't take this at the moment because we are struggling. If this is a bigger channel, we're struggling to you may even argue actually that maybe that's more like that. I'd like a little break from this channel and a new low. Maybe it is more like that. Still not great, is it? We got a touch. I'm not sure actually. Let me just see if I can see some other. See if Dan's got his chart up. So Dan's still got the larger channel, but it does run up there, I think. Actually, no, it does it. Not sure. I don't think he's super sure either. Let's try connecting the tops. See what happens. Doesn't really help too much. No, I can't. That, I think, is probably quite important. Let's move that up there. In fact, where did Mac have it? Okay, so he has got the tops connected. So I think Mac has got it something like that. Maybe it is. It's actually not fitting too bad around the midline. Maybe it's something like that. I do want to keep an eye on the short-term stuff as well, because that can make things easier. So channel 2 pushes to a new high, multiple tests. So is there a channel down? Maybe. So now I'd like to see a channel with a break and another leg down here. It's not easy again today. So just looking at this CL chart, we've had this move up and we bounced a couple of times right around that 50% line, and now we're pushing up. So maybe that's kind of valid. But what I'm seeing here, it's more likely going to test this high. So if we can get a couple of legs down to test this, we may get something. We'll see. I'm not holding my hopes up. Shh. So, channel with an overshoot. Fits nice, that does. Actually, it's not really showing an overshoot on this second chart. Trouble is, even with a second entry short, I'm just not a massive fan of shorting in an uptrend. But I certainly do think you can short this in some parts. Pretty sure Mac will mark a few shorts here. It is trending up. But I think depending on how you're looking at things, I just feel it feels very unnatural to me, this short, when markets are currently going up, which is not a bad thing, I think. That failed breakout double trap, small range was tempting. Gut said no from experience. Yeah, you got to trust that gut. It does make it, and that's purely what it is from experience. Something for me, it started for me, I get a bad feeling, something doesn't feel right, but then you got that kind of natural instinct to want to try and take a trade and make money. But I think it's, you know, when you get a bit of experience and something up there says something's not right here, you really got to listen to that voice. I started listening to it, and a couple of times it started failing, so that, you know, that makes you feel, now I feel like I'm finally making some good decisions. There is some sellers there. Those bigger sellers up here at 10 have dropped. You can see them. There's still over 1,000 contracts. So whether that's just going to yank price up a bit for the hell of it and they're going to drop, I don't know. But miserable weather here in the UK. Horrible. So, in fact, you know what? I'm going to pull this to there because I think that is maybe a better option. Thomas Way's got that, and it looks a little better to me. It's not an exact science, this. You don't know whether you can go from there, or down the bottom. Trouble is, you go down at the bottom, we start to lose the top. Brighter evenings. Yeah, at least we're aiming towards lighter nights, aren't we? What time is it now? It's 4:10 in the UK, and it's relatively bright for a miserable bloody day. But yeah, we're aiming the right direction now. We'll be in February soon. It doesn't seem 5 minutes since Christmas. It's about 4 weeks. Unbelievable, isn't it? How quick it goes. UK weather is it's crap. Mind you, a lot of people like our weather, especially from other kind of warmer climates, because we have like a nice balance. I've got to say, when we've had a long hot summer, which is rare, you kind of look forward to a few cooler nights, crisp mornings, but when you get them, you kind of think, give me some warm weather. But yeah, it's not great in the UK. We may be finding a little bit of support there, a bit of an overshoot. Sometimes in an overshoot, you can send it off for a correction. I don't know what's going on here, so I'm just sitting tight. But we do seem to be finding some support there. So there are some rather large sell orders there. About 6 around there. Oh, stops raining now, I know. But now I know a lot of people there was a couple of people I speaking to recently from Australia, and they said, oh, you got a lovely climate because you get a nice balance. Some of these warmer climates just stay hot all year round, don't they? Or relatively warm. Okay, see if these orders hold. My guess is if they didn't be, they'd have been yanked by now. There's 1,000, there's 1,100 contracts right there. Yeah, they're not going to get pulled them because it's too close. They've been yanked. Please tell me they haven't been yanked. Yeah, they have. They've been pulled. I can't really see the benefit of that. Oh, well. I'm surprised, actually. It was only a few ticks away, maybe a point away from triggering, especially how that thing rocked up. Frustrating, that is. Now they've put them further up, you sly bastards. About 9. They've put them up there. Now, price is likely to pull up. It probably won't get to there, but it's likely to pull up nonetheless. $1,059 contracts. It's around about there. In fact, probably a tick above there. So, little second entry long here might not be a bad option. I dare say these are probably going to get yanked, but if we get enough space up, now there is 3 bounces there, but I couldn't bring myself to go long there. You can argue it's a triple test, but whenever I take triple test, I much prefer it clear any previous liquidity. Otherwise, it's just risky. A couple of people are saying triple test here. It's risky for me. Those orders are lower now. They're around about 6, which is there. So it may pull this up and then drop them. I don't trust them orders. Going long into these orders, they may yank them here. There's a higher low there. Not for me. Those same contract sizes, they got yanked. I took that double bottom green bar and golfing triple test. One contract, that one there, yeah. I looked at it because of that overshoot. I wasn't kind of sure what to do. I think Marco took it as well. Looks like he did, yeah. I just preferred it to just drop below any in fact, I think it did actually. That one did, didn't it? Yeah. He may argue a quadruple test. I just couldn't bring myself to take that. It's only small, it's under the EMA, but I just don't trust this market at the moment. See, it may be a channel with a break 2 pushes to a new low. Yeah. Oh. Okay, there is a... No, it's not really. It has broke out of here, but do I really want to go along there? Not at the moment. In fact, I think Mac had it like this. That actually might be better. In which case, touch. Let me just check. Yeah. Yeah, Mac had it there like that. Doesn't fit terrible. So maybe we get 2 legs, we'll see. Hey, Captain Kirk. Not sure about this. Not sure whether we got a break or not. Them orders have been yanked now. All of a sudden, off we take. Nothing you can do here. It's a massive bar, that is. Maybe there is. Let's put that there. I don't know, to be honest with you. Is there a channel like that? It's so hard to say. Okay, let's go with what Mac shows. He's the most experienced trader I know. He's got like that. So whether it's there and there's an overshoot, which may be giving us a bit of a correction. So we have got a perfect measured move, a bounce, strong move up and another touch. I'm just not sure what the hell's going on at the moment. Yeah, I agree. They don't really help you unless they fit beautifully. They only really play more of a part when they get down to this level. Sometimes a midline, but yeah, I agree. It's just a rough guidance for me, is if we come down here, I get a nice lower high, whether we, you know what I mean, just to tell me not to short in there. But yeah, I agree. They don't really play much of a role, to be fair, apart from places like now. Now, I could move that up a touch and say maybe that's it, which means if I was looking for a second entry short here, shorted into what could be a larger channel. But yeah, I agree that, you know, to a degree they're relevant. It's more just to kind of gauge the overall and where it may come into contact. So we got buyers at 90. There's 170 contracts there below that bar there. Thomas Wade has changed it now to, so if I start, let's go back to that original one about there. Yeah, that's kind of what he's got. No, tell a lie. There. So the original one was there, and now we're out of the channel, aren't we now? Sometimes they do you more harm than good. Let's get rid of the damn thing. Let's focus on the small term stuff. So channel with an overshoot, couple of legs up, 2 pushes down above the EMA and then push down below the EMA. So there are orders here. So I think there's a good chance it comes down to here now. Is this thing going to go up? Who knows? It may do. I think the probably obvious guess is it's been going up for the last 4.5 hours or so. So probably we've got overnight highs up here, not too far away. Now we know market usually they're usually targets in a lot of cases, but you know that's kind of as about as obvious as it goes. But this could possibly be reversing it. Or we could have just a bigger correction. It's hard to tell at the moment. Let's see if there's something like this. Maybe. What does that look like? Not terrible. Trouble is, if you get 2 legs up, you take a short here, it may push up. So you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. That's, you know, markets are tough at the moment. So, you know, you've really got to make the right decision. It's getting something that looks nice. The trouble is, that looks okay to me, but there are no setups. That looks okay. There are no setups. That looks okay. No setups. We got a break, but then it didn't get close to the EMA before it pushed up. You know, I wonder, what's the ATR at the moment? ATR is quite low. What if you pull down to the 1500 tick chart? See if anything looks any different or would look any different. Change the 1,000. Edit that. Try the 1500. See if that looks any different. Sometimes it opens things up a little bit. See that? There's kind of like a hidden second entry, but too far from that EMA, I think. But it is quite strong. I just still avoid them, I do. Maybe a higher low there. I don't know. Gosh. Nothing seems to make a difference at the moment. Tend to be noisy, yeah. I do from time to time flip over. I've got the 4,000 here. Flip over the 10,000. Sometimes it breaks things up. See a couple legs down. Doesn't look like a bad area to go along, but we got an inside bar. 1, 2, 3 triple test. Doesn't look terrible there, and it did work, but there's no guarantees. Let's try the 10,000. See if that splits things up. Doesn't really give you anything there. Inside bar again. So it's not really helping as such. It gives us a bigger overall picture, but this thing's dropping now, so God knows. Yeah, it looks like it might well do, doesn't it? I mean, we've had that move up. We could get a correction, more or less a couple of legs. Clear out any previous liquidity before traders might decide now's the time to start thinking about maybe shorting. I always think when we've had such a strong uptrend, I always kind of give it a little bit of space to kind of get the feel for what I think it's doing. But sometimes it'll just drop. You never know. Now, if I put the fib chart on this from the bottom to the top, that'll give us an idea of where it may be coming, and let's see if there's any liquidity there. So we've got the 50% level here, 38 level here. There's going to be liquidity in this area here, so there's always a possibility, you know, that we end up kind of doing, you know, kind of something like this. You know what I mean? You never know. Or it pushes high. It's so hard to say sometimes. Obviously, at the end of the day, we have an idea of exactly what it did, but Bitcoin closes. So Bitcoin's having a dump as well, I think, isn't it? It's under 85,000, isn't it, at the moment? What is Bitcoin at the moment? Oh, 88,000. Yeah, that's come down a little, isn't it? So over the last day, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over the last 6 days, it's come down nearly $10,000. This thing. So we've got this 50% level. So let's just pop that in place. So at least we got somewhere where it may come back to. There's going to be liquidity here, a couple of legs back quite likely. Let's drag him out of the way. Have I just dragged that out of the way, have I? No. Okay, so that's the 50% level for this move up. It pretty much is a move up. It doesn't fit in the greatest of channels, so that's the 50% level. Let's see what happens if it gets down to here, whether it finds something. But there'll be liquidity here, possibly a couple of places here. So, be some liquidity down here, which is gone, and down here. So, we got close to yesterday's highs, but not quite high enough. So maybe this is just a correction of sorts. We'll never know, or maybe later we will. So I'm going with that. It fits beautifully across there. So we've got 1, 2, 3. If you look at these touches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 fitting nice there. Nice along the midline as well. I brought it down to there, so whether it is or not, I don't know, but there is a few bars there. We've kind of got a push up, a test, a little push up, and that's when it starts to come down. So sellers around about the 78.5, which may give us, no, in fact, just below the 80. I prefer to go a bit higher. Let's put 80 at the top. So a couple little legs up, we may get something, but this is happening less and less. This is these two little pull, you know, couple of legs pull back. Half the time you get the tiniest of breaks and it comes down. That continues. We're going to have to change our strategy, I think. I think we'll see a bounce just after we get below 68.74. After that liquidity there, let's say 8.74. About there. We've cleared this liquidity out. Trouble is, I don't know whether this is a nice looking channel or not. It's not the easiest. Let's see if it looks any better here. So you could go with that, couldn't you? But then let's put that there. Trouble is, it looks like we might be getting a break here. So channel break, new high. I wouldn't take that at the moment because I can see orders here just below 80, which is around about there. So we've cleared out that bit of liquidity there. There is a lower high there. I'm not taking this though, in case we get a second leg up. Now, sometimes they work, but that is too far from that EMA for me. That's liable to get stopped out. As I say, there are sellers there. Not a huge amount of them, but enough of them to... I think this is weak here. There, and the lower high is weak, so I wouldn't be surprised if we had a second leg. You just don't know. You may short that and it might just come down. Sometimes the worst positional trades in the world just bloody work anyway. What can you do? It is frustrating, really. Neither of them got close enough to that EMA for me. Channel break, maybe a new high, just lower high. But I don't like this, these bars. There's a bit of congestion here, so we could push up for a second leg. It is a bit frustrating, that. Now, my guess is there's a good chance that might... Well, maybe it is. I'm going to say may not even be a break. It might not even really be a break, that. I'm a bit on the fence there. Looks like a break here. Yeah, someone said triple test lower high congestion. That's the problem. You've got to be so careful here. Could quite easily trigger and push up for a second leg. So that 50% level is down here. What I'm going to do is just put that back. I don't want to assume, because on my other chart, it looks like a clear break. I've gone with that. You may disagree with it, but I think it's dangerous to assume it's not made a break. would I consider it a break this? Is that what you mean? Let me have a look. Lower high, higher low are okay for scalps, but yeah, I only go for a straight 3 points. I mean, if I look at this, we got to let's fit it as nice as we can. I put that there. It's fitting quite nice. So fits nice there. Not too bad at the bottom. And it looks like a break there. And same again. Now, the trouble is, the danger you've got about dragging it out and saying like it's part of it is if we get a break here going short. So if we have a break here, we push down, this could now be reversing. So it's just one of them things, really. It does need a new low, yeah. So, I mean, that might be it. So the danger is extending that and saying it may be part of it. You may decide to go short in. You may get trapped. So if I think it's at a break, I think it's better to assume it has and just give this a little bit of space, because there's a possibility we could come down again a bit lower, or there's a possibility it could be reversing. So Thomas Wade's got it as a break. I think it's probably the sensible idea. He's marked the second entry short, but I'll be surprised if he takes that. That's too far for the EMA for him. Depends how desperate he is, but I will be surprised if he took that. It's a little bit congested. You can see across there. There's a bit of sideways. It's a bit wicky. You just never know. But I think it's probably safer to assume it's had a break. And maybe this is reversing, or maybe this is correcting for a second leg down. You just never know. But we've got that big move up. We're not at the 50% level, so it could go down a little bit more, couldn't it? But I don't know at the moment. So look at this. There's looking like a hidden second entry short there, which is triggered and stopped out. So this could be reversing. I don't like none of it at the moment. I wouldn't take that higher low. It's gone too far for me for a higher low. Because as I say, although I think it's had a break, I'm not of the opinion that it won't maybe come down and have another go or a retest. We got up a little bit of sideways and then we pushed up, but there's not a strong enough buying in there for me to make this rocket up. So you see that kind of higher low there. It's triggered and it's starting to pull back a bit. So this could come down and stop that out. It looks like it's doing exactly that. So anybody who decided to go long early might get stung here. It may hold, but my guess is as it's triggered it with one tick, I think there's a good chance that it comes down. See, we've got orders at 70, which is right below there, and there are orders at 65. So my guess is if you took higher low there, you're going to get your arse slapped. It's bound to stop it out. Yeah, it has done. So that's the trouble. Thinking break, we can go long now. You just never know. Sometimes it'll come down another retest, stop out any early longs, and then off we go. But I'm just not sure here. Or there's a possibility that we end up having something like this, another sort of more shallow channel. It's just, there's so many variables. You've really got to be confident you know where price is going. If you took that one thinking, yeah, break, new low, little bit of sideways, this is it, we're going to tear up now. It triggered and stopped out. So it's a pain in the arse trade at the moment. You've really got to be careful. You need two legs. You might get two legs. Yeah, Thomas Wade calls it, explains it well, an area of development. In other words, you're not sure whether price is going to now decide that buyers like this level and they want to push it up, or whether this thing may continue down. There's multiple ways you could have drawn that, but it does for me look like it may be on the way down, at least temporarily. No, absolutely. I wouldn't consider taking that in the slightest. Just from experience, you know, we've had a little touch there, but usually prices will come down and have another go, because whenever traders decide to get in long here, a lot of time it'll pull back, clear them out first, and that's when the kind of the stronger buyers will push up. But I'm just super suspect of everything at the moment. I just don't trust anything at the moment. I think it's much better to even not trade your accounts rather than risk damaging them with this price action. Unless you see something, I mean, we can go through this and then all of a sudden you'll see a beautiful trade just pop out the blue and rocket down. And then all of a sudden you'll be up. But it's just one of those things. If it's not clear, you've got to be so careful. So, bunch of buyers down there, as we can see at 55. So there's the 50%. Let's get that. We don't need that now. There's the 50% level for this move up. But the way it's acting, for me, it may decide to come down further. And as we say a lot of times, you have those two legs down, and that to me looks more like two legs down. You may say one leg, two legs, but sometimes it'll take two pushes. But as I mentioned, I'm not convinced this thing is going back up. It may continue down. Nothing's off the table. So orders at 60, which is there. So there are buyers at 60, there are buyers at 62, there are buyers down here. Stronger buyers, shall we say. Wow. The United States announced 10% tariffs, which will be imposed at the beginning of February on Denmark, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, and less negotiations advance towards full United States acquisition of Greenland. See, if it was purely from a security point of view, Greenland aren't opposed to the US having as many ground forces as they need there, just for the security of the item. But obviously, there's minerals and oil and whatever else there. And that tends to be more what it's linked to, with maybe a smoke screen for the extra security of it. But there's no issues with security. They've got security bases there anyway. The issue was raised publicly during World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Placed direct economic pressure on the European governments. During high-level diplomatic and financial discussions, United States officials stated that the tariffs will remain in effect until binding territorial agreement is reached. So he's really going for the. He's really going for that move. You didn't know whether he would there would be some sort of negotiations and maybe something else will be on the table. But United States officials said the tariffs will remain in effect. Territorial agreements reach, framing the move as a long-term defence strategy rather than conventional trade dispute. I dare say there'll be stuff in the news later. I'll have a look at that with interest. Okay, so it's bounced off that 50% level now. Whether it makes a difference, who knows? Excuse me a second. Okay, orders at 55 down here. A little bit above, a little bit below. Now, let me have a look. Denmark reacted Trump's request for negotiations of a green and will help cause this reversal. Who knows what'll happen? Who knows? Can't see Trump backing down when he gets his teeth into something. I say, I did watch a lot of his speech. He did go on, didn't he? I got to say, I think he talked for about an hour and a half non-stop. I was struggling to keep my eyes open in the end. You think shorts. Starting to look that way, isn't it? Someone else has got that. Maybe it's a bit early, I think. Trouble is, we're not getting, when we're getting pullbacks, we're not getting much. I don't know. I mean, you may argue a triple test. It's not the worst trade in the world, but then when you get the lower high, it's congested a bit, and that's what concerns me. Now, you see that so many times, doesn't get to the EMA, you get in a bit early, and all of a sudden we get a second leg out, stopping that, and then possibly a move down. We're just not getting decent pullbacks and decent setups. Okay, we're getting a bit of a bounce here. We have got orders 55 down here and at 50. We get up close to EMA and then just drop. Come on, give us a decent bloody setup, will you? Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility of a bigger downtrend. Someone else has got one. I was just looking on here. So there's a possibility. He's got that with a break. There is a possibility. Just don't like anything at the moment. Let's call that a little 3-bar micro with a break. Okay, let's say channel break, new high. See if we get a lower high. There is a lower high there. Still how much space is down to the lows. $13 ticks. It's just not much space to the lows. So there's like 2.25 points to the lows there. I'm just not a fan of it all, to be honest with you. You could get in on a limit order with this little pullback. I'm not a fan of it. I just don't like the channels. It just looks weak. Well, it would have worked. I just think I'm getting to the stage where it's been that long since I've taken a trade. Just getting wary that anything looks any slightly worse than perfect. Didn't like anything on this for starters. Maybe there's something like that. Let's have a look. Doesn't look terrible. Buyers at the 50 level there. It's looking like it, isn't it? There's going to be a bit of liquidity around here, I dare say, isn't there? Looks like it, doesn't it? It doesn't look terrible. We got close there. We're okay there. It's about the best I've got. I mean, it may be a spike in a channel. You probably could drag it down here. It may look a bit neater, but I don't think it's too important whether you go from there. It's very close anyway, isn't it? So need a couple of legs up, don't we? So those buy orders got hit. There are more down at 47.50, which is below price. So if we can get a couple of legs up, second entry short, my guess is it's still likely to come down some more. See, every time we get back to the EMA, no setup, no setup, no setup. And same here as well. EMA, there is a second entry long there. But that was before kind of market open, so I wasn't kind of focusing on this then. There is a second entry short there. There's the first entry. Well, if it breaks below there, that's too far from the EMA now. It may well go down, I don't know. But for me, that's against my rules, way too far. And there's no room to the lows. It's 17 ticks, it ain't finished yet. Too risky. There's the first entry there. So when a bar breaks below this, it's just nothing you can do there. It's too dangerous taking it there. Pre-market second entry long was the only good trade. Yeah, I think so. Terrible, isn't it? Trouble is, when you're shorting into the lows, you never quite know where it's going to push up. You haven't quite got to the EMA there or the channel. But then if you do nothing, the thing drops. As soon as you get in, it decides to push up and stop you out. Frustrating. Okay, so this was the open last night. So we may get a little stall here, or even a couple of legs, maybe a break. It is frustrating, isn't it? All of a sudden we're up there, next minute, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We're nearly 70 points down. Mad, isn't it? Crazy. 70 points. Now I may take that up there. We need some kind of correction now, especially now we're hitting key levels. Yeah, we need a decent setup. Ideally, when we're down to levels like this, close to the lows, this is when I prefer a correction. Maybe test overnight highs up here somewhere, but the trouble is you do nothing, thing just drops. You just can't get in there, to be honest with you. You never know when it's going to trigger you and push up to the EMA. Yeah, that's the trouble. We got back here, but there was a setup here, but my concern was with what I was looking at, it was a bit sketchy that we may get a second leg. Nothing here, nothing here. We didn't quite get back there. I didn't like it. Sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't. And when I leave trades, it's because in the past they haven't worked well. Sometimes they will, sometimes in a downtrend, if you're just short when it gets close, sometimes they'll work. But I can't work that way anymore. I have to have something. As much as I want to trade, as much as I want to kick this dry spell, I've drummed it into me to wait for a setup that jumps in front of me. But, if I talk to people like Marco, he's lost a few accounts. Wilson as well. Wilson was posting daily profits of 10, 12, 15,000 on his 50 PA accounts a week ago. Yesterday he posted something saying he's just past 20 Apex 300 grand evaluation. So I'm assuming he's blown all his 20 accounts. So I know everybody's struggling. Everyone that I spoke to is struggling at the moment. Now, although I'm struggling, with the exception of the one account, which didn't have much in it anyway, I'm not losing trades because purely and simply I'm just not taking them. And I think sometimes when it is like this, you're better off just hold your accounts where they are and just ride the kind of rough times rather than, trying to squeeze things. If you squeeze it, that's when you get stung. So I'm just battening down the hatches, for want of a better word. Better to not take a trade, as frustrating as it is, than to end up feeling like you're pressured into taking something you probably shouldn't because you haven't taken a trade for a week type thing. He said yeah, I know. Asked him what had happened to the other accounts. Wish he would have. He does. The trouble is, his style of trading, when I first started streaming, I traded a bit like that, where I get in, I drag me profit down, and I try and follow it with me stop. Now, that can produce reasonable days, but it can produce big losses, and it's stressful as shit because you don't know whether to drop your stop, move your stop. It's just, I think it's much more relaxing to just get in, put your stop where it is, put your profit, and just kind of ride it. But he'll do that. He'll put profit after profit after profit, disappear for a few days, come back with a load of new PA accounts. So he'd obviously blown them. But I mean, he marked a trade the other day where he took 10 trades. It's very hit and miss trading, that is. I can't do it. It just feels messy. I think you're best to just take a trade and stick to you and follow the same kind of rules. You know, if you have a runner, great. If you go for 1.5 points, but just keep the same, you know, that clearer momentum. So we got a little channel up with a break. Now, we're getting close to the lows. That's not too bad. It's close enough. But you don't know what's going to happen here. But my guess is when we have such a strong move down there like this one, you get some kind of a correction before it decides to move up for a second leg. So I'd like to see some kind of correction. So the natural place I would look for is previous liquidity, which is here and here. So if I look on Bookmap, there are sellers at 55, which is right in that area. It's a tick above there, which is great. In fact, it's right on it, actually. And there are sellers at around about 68, which is a little bit deeper, which is there, maybe above this. So we've got a channel with a break and a bear bar. Now, my natural instinct here is to wait because it is above the EMA and I can see orders up here. So, and it's a fair sized channel down. So I would expect way more than a little break like that and come straight down, especially when we got this liquidity so close. My guess is you get in early there, you get stopped out and it takes these levels out, gets into these areas where these sellers are and then moves down. Now, I could be completely wrong. It may just come down. But at the moment, with such a tiny break for such a big channel down, I would just have to wait. It just does not feel right. But sometimes it just doesn't. So I think the better option, if you do want to go short, is the failure. Trap some longs and that. But my guess is if you took that, it's premature, and I would wait. But it could work. But when I see orders here, which you wouldn't normally see if you had something like Bookmap, I can tell there are sellers there right above liquidity. That would be the safer place to take them. But it just depends. If it's bearish, traders may just decide to do it. And this area here as well is the overnight highs. If I go up there and take that to there, look where that comes in, right in this area, the overnight highs. And sometimes that makes a difference. You know, we could have a shoulder, head, shoulder, which means it could come into this area before it goes down. I don't know. God knows. Now we got a lower high, but both those bars are above the EMA, and that adds some extra risk. Now, if we drop below the EMA and get a bull bar, we may get a failure, but I'm just sitting tight here. Wilson. If you look up into 3 or 4 days ago, he had 20, 50k PAs, which he was putting on how much he'd made profit on each of them. Then all of a sudden, he comes out, he's past 20 300k evaluations. So I don't know what he's doing. I get blowing 20 accounts. I've blown 20 accounts once. You only do that once, in my opinion. You learn your lessons, but he's blown them half a dozen times. So I just don't like the way he's trading. I think it's liable for things to go wrong. And I'm guessing he's had a bad day and pushed his luck, and it's backfired. So shorts at 55, and shorts at around about there. Let's call it 58.5 now. If you got in there, the lower high, you stopped out. If you got in there, I think it's premature from my point of view. You've got stopped out again. It had a little bit of a push up there. So, fell second entry short. Yeah, maybe. Same again after such a strong downtrend. I get nervous about going long, but that one would have worked for sure. So maybe got a channel. 2 legs up now. We're hitting the right areas. 60 is the big round number. And that will be about 2 legs. So I'd be looking now for some kind of move down. I can't see a break out of that. So my guess is I'm still expecting it to come and test the lows. Yes, I trade Pats, bud. Yes, I do. So Czar Trader. So I've not seen you before, bud. You're a new face. Welcome. Where are you from? Yeah, I do. What's left of it? It's tough going at the moment, that's for certain. So sellers there at 60. Quite a few in that area for now because everyone hates just took a failed entry. Yeah, I don't know. That was a bad trade. My only slight concern with that is whether you get into it or not, because when it pushes above there, it's likely to push up strong, which it did. But we did have sellers here as well, not too far away. So it's not a reversal pattern for me, this. So I would have to hold on here at the moment. So my guess is this is still going to come down and likely retest the lows, because I can't see where we've had a break at the moment. I'm expecting a correction, and if you look where price is now, we're testing the overnight highs, and you can see how the overnight highs have played a part. So there's a chunk of sell orders here. There is more at 65 trying to pull price up, but my guess is it's still likely going to come down. But that's how I see things. You may look at it slightly different. So 102 contracts, not a huge amount, but I'd like to see some aggressive sellers coming in here. So that bear bar has triggered. For me, we need to get below the EMA. We need to rule out this. And you wouldn't have 2 legs up with a break already if it was a channel. So my guess is this is on its way down. And sometimes it just tanks, which is frustrating. Those orders at 60 have been yanked. And there are some sellers right now. There, 240 contracts. But I got no setup though. That's the trouble. I can't just jump in. The one time I decide to jump in, I guarantee it will go up and stop me out. So as frustrating as it is, there's 240 contracts at 2.5. So I'm hoping this bar closes south and it pushes up and gives us a lower high, but I don't think it's going to. 2 legs up, lower high would be lovely. There are a few more sellers at around about the 4 level, which is there. If we can break above there, we may get a lower high. No, we need to just tick above there, at least give us something. There's a second entry long here, so there'll be liquidity here. That to me is not a channel. It's just 2 legs. Come on, we need a little bit of help here, spiritual guidance here. Come on, push up. I'm not religious, but I'm tempted to pray for a small pullback here. And there we go. Let's see what happens. A few sellers here. The trouble is when we've not got below that EMA. Okay, so that hits some sellers. Let's just get a sell order ready
Order
just
submitted.
in case we get this lower high here. I'm not looking hopeful. I'm not failing this at the moment. It's congested here, that's the problem. There is a lower high there, but it's not got through that EMA, so
Order
I might just have to sit tight here a bit. Trouble is, the bigger this channel, the more of the scenic route this takes to find its way, and that is relatively small. What I will say, it has cleared previous liquidity, and a lot of times that's what it'll do. So, so there is a second entry long there. It broke below there. First entry broke below there. Let's see where this goes. I wouldn't be thinking about going long here as of yet. So.
Order submitted.
Look at the size of the damn thing, look. I'm not risking 27 ticks, that's just mad. May push up and have another go. Let's see if we get a failure. Yeah, I agree, mate. Right, possible second entry long failure. Trouble is, we get below there, we do some stops. We need something a bit stronger. It's just too tight. It needs to be a bit higher. If I do this, we need to get a little bit higher. Good. We have triggered that bar, but that is not a really good looking second entry long that I'd expect to fail and fail really strongly. It's congested here. You can see it may pop back. It may jump back and stop that bear bar out. Let me just shut down this trade. I don't like it at the moment.
Order cancelled.
See that bear bar there? Failed second entry long. See what I mean? It's triggered, just stopped out. It's too congested, really. We need something that looks much stronger than that. That's a bit better, but it's still risky. No, it just doesn't look like it, does it? See, sometimes if you're getting a bit premature, but I don't like this. It's stuck in the middle of this bit of whipping, and it can pop up. I mean, I think it looked like it may have worked for 12 ticks, may have done, but the trouble is, it's broke below there, but it hasn't really done much. What I'd like to be stopping out is good, strong second entry longs that are going to trap traders trying to buy from this level. but it's broken below there and hasn't really done much. So we've just got to sit patiently. Much indecision, that range was expecting, and yeah, I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to. We've had a couple of legs up, and it does like it's coming down. That bar, I don't think it's the worst bar in the world, but it was 27 ticks. If you get that wrong, especially in today's climate where there's not a lot of trades around, it's going to sting, isn't it? I'd much prefer maybe a little break here, couple of legs up, and then a quick flush down. Trouble is, there's always the possibility we end up getting a decent correction like this. And anybody got in here, or here just gets stuffed. And on a move down like this, we had it here, we had that move up. Look at the correction we got. 2 proper legs down before it moved up. So I wouldn't be shocked if this thing decided to lump a bit higher. You're going to have stops there and up here as well for the measure, the 2 kind of measured move, whatever it is. But sometimes I think a little bit too much. But under the circumstances, with the size of the channel down and the break, I would kind of expect it a little to have another go. That's an attempt to push higher, which, struggled up until now, but we're still finding a bit of support there. So you can see that along there. Look, bounce. So there may traders decide to maybe have another go. You're certainly going to kill any short stops here and here. That's going to give you some liquidity. So I still think there's a good chance this might have a quick rush up. So where's sellers? There are sellers around about 56, which is there, right at that stop, and there are sellers at 60, which is there, right at that stop. They're not daft, are they? So there's sellers there. It's about 6 3/4. So sellers right above that stop, sellers right above that stop. They're not bloody daft, are they? So we've got a push up and a bounce. Another leg up, 2 pushes back and a bounce. So it may go up and have another leg. Now all of a sudden we get another 25 tick bar. Screw that. I'm not losing that in the middle of that. Chop, chop, chop. Yeah, I know what I expect. It to come down and test the lows, but it may do that. Not before it pushes up and stops my bar out and then goes where I expect it to go. But so we got a little channel down with a break. So we got 1 bounce, 2 bounce. We may get a triple test here for a push up for a second leg. I don't know. God knows. You don't think it's going to make another big leg up? Yeah, I just don't know at the moment, mate, to be fair. I just don't trust the price. We got 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 bounces, so who knows what it's going to do. Perhaps I'm a bit paranoid. The longer you go without a trade, the more crap days you get, the more paranoid you get. See, any decent bull bars up here have been stopped technically, so it's picked up, with the exception of probably that, really. It's picked up any liquidity and it's still holding, and that's what worries me. That's why I think we've not seen the down stuff. Maybe there's a so we got a channel with a break and a new low buy tick. So there is a lower high stroke second entry short. Trouble is we made a new low buy tick. No, we haven't. It's a matching low. I'm a bit paranoid about all this. I'm not convinced this thing isn't going to have another quick push up. If you look at the move we had there, we had one hell of a correction before it went up for its second leg. So I'd expect a bit more than just this. This is relatively small. So if I go with that fib tool, where is it? There. And if I go from there to there, we pull back to that 38.2% level. So if I do the opposite, we could come up here again, say, possibly to the 50. I'd expect a little bit more of this, but that's just a gut feeling. I don't know it. But when I see liquidity like that, with such a big channel down, if this thing comes down, my guess is you're going to see the bigger orders in these areas. Same again, triple test. I wouldn't have wanted to go long because I am still waiting for a test of the lows. So it stopped that bar out by one tick. So that's good. The line in the sand for me there is the 60 level, which is one tick above that bar there. So channel down, maybe a couple of legs, and then it may have that move down. But that for me was a big target. It may push up a bit higher. And that's always possible. Whether it'll get that high or not, I don't know. So channel 2 pushes up. We did make a match in new low here. I won't be thinking about a wider channel just yet. If you start doing things like that, you've got all this gap here, so you may decide to, if you trust that as a wider channel, you may get in long, short here, and then the thing, or are you on about something like this? That's the only other option. That doesn't really help as such, does it? But yeah, I wouldn't be thinking about going short just yet here, and maybe thinking about a bigger channel. It's just a little bit choppy, this. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes it'll just drop. But I would like to see it push up to this area. So we've had a push up, we've had a couple of bounces, we've come up for a second leg, we've had 2 little legs down and a bounce, another test of it. So I would expect it to go a little bit higher, certainly pick off more liquidity. But I could be completely wrong. It's just my experience telling me that be careful here. Some of these bars are rather large, so I do not want to get stung on a 27 tick bar. I'll be throwing myself straight out the window. I've had a bit of a frustrating day, losing just that one account yesterday, so I did say to myself, if I'm going to trade today, I just got to be super careful and just sensible. One account is not an issue. But my patience and discipline has been top notch lately, and it's had to have been. I could have been, 12 months ago, the damage for me would have been significant, I dare say, but I haven't really, apart from that one, there was only $300 odd in that one. I'm not bothered about that. It was just a bit of a straggler. But it's okay to just have a little hiccup like that, but you don't want to lead it to a second and a third and a fourth. Give yourself a bit of a slap and let it go. But so we got a little micro channel there with a break. I think there's a fair chance this could come up. It's a good point, actually. Someone's just put that. I was just thinking about that. We're clearly ranging at the moment, so 2 legs up. My guess is as we've pushed up, we're probably likely going to come and test this high, and this liquidity up here would make perfect sense. Time is it? 5:45. I mean, this is a break. There's always a possibility that we have a couple of tests and this thing turns up. Sometimes it will. That's another one of Penguin's cut, but it also looks like a shoulder head with a shoulder, so this thing may rip lower. Who knows? But Penguin's got a setup list with a break. 1 attempt to go lower, 2nd attempt to go lower, failure, and we push up to the highs or for a second leg. He's speaking now, is he? Oh, God. If he says he's going to take over Greenland by force, this market's doomed. You never know what he's going to say, do you? How long have I been going for? Okay, might be a good idea to knock on the head there, I think. Do not want to damage my accounts. Rather let him say his piece. We've been going a while now. Was it 2 or 3 or 4 or 5? 3 hours and 15 minutes. So I'm going to leave it there, folks, today. So another dry day, but, you know, if there's not much we can do about it, as frustrating as it is, we just got to kind of just hold our patience and just, you know, just bite your lip and just continue forward. So I'm going to leave you guys to it. Best of luck. I hope you get something. Yeah, see you tomorrow, Richard. But I'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully, I keep saying this, we'll have a better day. So I'll leave you guys to it. Stay safe. Have a great evening. We'll catch up tomorrow.